Hey guys, the Nobody's a Hero chapter has been out for a few months now. This chapter brung 5 survivors and 2 new killers alongside a new map, making this the biggest update yet. However, it didn't revive the game, for long at least. That's mainly because of the fact that killers have remained weak and the nerfs to the night contest kept the meta stale. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to go through each of the characters and talk about if they're good or not. I'm not amazing in survival knowledge, but I know just enough to grasp a decent opinion on them. Hope you enjoy! Let's start with Zeal. He's a stealth character who is meant to stay on gens. His ability allows you to go invisible on command. A better version of any other invisible perk, honestly. He can avoid chases easily, and he's super beginner friendly. A cooldown of 5, however, the cooldown doesn't matter, as it takes 50 stacks to use, and you can only have 50 stacks at a time. All he wants you to do is stay on gens and avoid the killer. He's frustrating to go against when you're the killer though. He has bad looping stats, which again shows he wants to stay on gens. His issue is his ability can only be used for himself, which in of itself isn't bad, however it just doesn't do much. Regardless, I think he's a good character and he can be useful, however there's just better gen rushers and stealth characters out there. I don't have too much of an opinion on him. To be honest, I'd say 6 out of 10. Next up, Anna. While she's an interesting character, she's much like Zeal. Can only help herself and her ability is incredibly situational. Of course she's a looper, so she has looping stats. She also has the worst stealth in the game though, but that is because of the fact that she can literally teleport to another floor. The killer needs some information on that. Stealth is either incredibly useful or one of the most useless stats in the game. Depends on the killer and the situation. She has a repair any looper would have, 3. Her ability can be amazing, don't get me wrong. Only 6 seconds in chase required to activate it is so good. However, if it's not a one-way or another floor, it's just another vault. It can be amazing still, but it's just very situational and incredibly map dependent. After all that, you'd think I'd say that she's bad, she's terrible, right? But I don't think she's that bad. She's still not good, but she does get countered by a couple killers. The night contest, obviously, because same ability. Possessed, but Possessed isn't amazing, and Star Eater, but that's very also situational. I give her probably definitely a 6. Yeah, a 6. Santino. I think probably the funniest ability with the scream because it just sounds so ridiculous. Don't get me wrong, I think the voice actor did an amazing job. I do love it though. He's a looper and semi-support because his ability is able to help someone who is in chase and doesn't need to be used selfishly. The radius though is difficult to play around as it doesn't stop an M1 and you need to get really close for the slow. Again, average looper stats, nothing much to comment on. He had a nerf at the beginning of the update which removed his ability to take a hit. I'm not sure about this change. He has to be super close risking a hit just to use the ability, but at the same time, the slow is incredibly useful, lasts a decent amount of time, and slows a killer down a lot. He also gets a speed boost. I do have to say, I think it's a pretty decent character, just because of the fact that he can be used as a support, which is also shown by his 8 healing. He has many flaws though, with stuff like stuns just simply being better. Mamo exists, Gavin, Elijah. All these 3 do the supporting aspect better, and all but Elijah can utilise their ability in chase. Gavin headshots are incredibly useful because his cooldown is so short, and being able to refund a bullet is so good, especially for stuns and a speed boost every 40 seconds. Santino also really needs to be in chase for his ability because he gets stacks and every however long he's in chase he gets a stack. That's how he gets his ability and he needs 25. Nothing to do, like, Gavin's good because you don't need to be in chase to get it, and you can go from afar, and you get stacks from going being on gens, right? But having to be, when you're supporting as Santino and you're wanting to go around, you have to be chased by the killer, and you're not really doing anything useful while you're doing it. It causes his ability to only really be used on himself, making it very one-dimensional. I think a 6 out of 10, just because of all them flaws. Barrett, she's probably the worst survivor in the update, simply because other characters do her job so much better. Millicent, Dakari, even Dante. Her stats can, in heavy air quotes, make up for it though. 5 repair along with incredible looping stats and 9 healing. That's pretty good. However, her drone only needs to be kicked. Can only heal one person at a time, I think. And just doesn't heal fast enough. The only way to interrupt Millicent's healing is, I think, getting downed. Plus, you never actually have to go to the down survivor. You can do it behind walls. For Barry, you do. Dakari doesn't either. Her stats just don't make up for her mid ability. She should be able to place her drone from far away, in my opinion. All you can really use it for right now is a quick distraction in chase, or possibly picking yourself up. Basically Elizabeth. I think she deserves, unfortunately, a 4 out of 10. Next, Kamari and Narutuya. I like them. Do I think they're good? No. But the premise of the character is cool. A Gen Rusher starts with a Looper ability. I think it's good. I think it's cool. I think it's new. The slow is incredibly frustrating as killer, and often blocks off a whole other path for the killer, forcing them to go around, or in order to completely avoid the ability. They're really good on 50-50 loops because of that. It's basically a free 9 to 10 seconds or more just for placing down your ability. There's a lot of potential with where you can place your ability, however one downside is you're not able to change where you place your mark. That's kind of hefty, and all you can really do is just hope that someone or you ends up looping in that place. On about someone else, it's great, like really good for assisting characters and assisting people in loops because of the fact that you don't actually have to be close to it. All you need to do is just place it down. They can transition back to the vault. You can place it and you've helped them. It could save them. Yeah, easy, simple. I don't really have anything else to say about them. I think they're really underrated, and I think more people should play them. Now I think about it, that would be horrible for killer. Wait, I forgot, does the slow become worse with more in the game? I don't actually know. I might need to find that out. That would be hell for killers if everyone was them. That'd be like 80 seconds. That'd be infinite. That'd be pretty insane. Yeah, that, I think, I don't know actually what to give them. I think 5 out of 10, but also at the same time they're good, so I think they could go up to 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. I don't know, I think they're one of the better survivors in the update. Oh, the Night Countess. Where do I even start? She got gutted in the PTS, then got a bunch of massive nerfs in the after the PTS when they're released, and now her passive is useless. I don't think there's actually ever been a time where I've been able to use my passive and it's actually done something for me. I don't think she should have got nerfed as hard. I think her passive was interesting. I think it needs a buff. I think she should be able to hit straight after she teleports, because that is an actually interesting and can be very skillful ability. I think buffer, please. Her actual active ability though is very good. It freezes you. Often you get 2 freezes. Sometimes you can only get 1, which is kind of unfortunate, but when you get 2, it's kind of a guaranteed hit. But that isn't to say that she's OP, right? The cooldown is very long, 70 seconds I think, and she has a massive wind up. Her ability sometimes can be a little difficult to aim, because it's kind of difficult to tell when the ability like technically locks onto a position, because sometimes it feels like I'm trying to aim, like I move the last second, right, but it accidentally throws it somewhere else. That's fine. Oh well. I think she got massive nerf. Her M1, her normal M1, pretty mid. Same way, well, not mid in terms of like mid, pretty mid speed, mid terror radius. Them two got nerfed like crap. Obviously the speed is going to get nerfed, but the terror radius, I think it kind of like was counterintuitive to her passive, which was balanced, right? You needed to be in chase to get her passive. If you're going to be in chase later, and sometimes even get the survivors are even going to get escape from chase, then you're not going to get as many stacks, right? And then you nerf the passive too hard. Anyways, I think in terms of killers, 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10. She's on the higher end, definitely. But in terms of strength, 5. I think her passive is just too weak. But it's like the same with a lot of killer passives. Someone like Warden's passive, useless. I just hope for a buff in the rewrite. And then finally we have the People's Hero. I think probably my favourite killer in the game at the moment. However, he's weak. He's been weak since its release, since the PTB. He can be laggy sometimes, he can be weird to play. In general, his kit as a whole I think is amazing. It's balanced, right. An anti-loop ability with some gen regression, that's amazing. The fact that he's able to, like, if his stat gain was higher, I think he'd probably be one of the better killers, and he'd actually be enjoyable to play. What I enjoy about his gameplay is that he can rely, well, his ability seems like you're supposed to rely on it in order to get downs, right? You're not. What you're supposed to do it, use it, slow them down, get close, stop the ability, do an M1. Which is why his M1 is the best in the game, right? I think it's kind of counterintuitive to what his ability actually is. His ability, in my opinion, should purely be anti-loop. It can easily be countered by crouching under your feet, crouching behind something. I mean, he's so slow while he's doing his lasers, you can outrun him on most characters, right? He's easy to counter, which is a good thing for a killer. However, when the killer's base kit is weak, that's where the issue is. His base kit isn't weak. His numbers are weak. All he needs is a faster stat gain, and he'll actually be a viable killer. I think one of the most enjoyable killers. In my opinion, please just buff him. But unfortunately, I'm gonna give him, I have to say 3, because 3 out of 10. At the end of the day, only like a quarter of the killers are actually good, quote unquote good, and some of them killers are genlock killers, which aren't good. Genlock killers are boring. Anyways, sorry, this is about, he's just not good. He can get downs with his ability, yes. However, Often he's only going to get 2 downs with his ability over time, and most of the other downs are going to be through your M1, which isn't fun gameplay, very boring, and at that point it's basically just a assault killer, right? So yeah, 3 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. I don't think I have anything else to talk about. In general, the update wasn't amazing. I think a lot of the killers especially were very, very disappointing with how they ended up being so weak. Yeah. Hopefully the rewrite will fix a lot of the issues the killers have at the moment. Especially the new killers. The new killers ability kits, amazing. I think they're very unique. I think it's very, very promising, especially with how the Rocketeer is coming out soon. I don't know when. It's predicted to be before the end of the year. Honestly, it's looking like it's going to be before the end of the year with how fast they're working. Almost all of the survivors done. Wow. Anyways, please buff the Night Countess and the People's Hero when the rewrite releases. Thank you, and did I already mention please subscribe? Please like and subscribe. Thank you.